Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our weekly session. Sorry, firstly, let me say sorry for starting late. I really do hate to start late. But today was a long day. It was a very long day. I literally got in the house at about sort of like 10 to 8 or something like that. So I was literally just rushing. I had to set the system up. I had to get changed. I just literally, just a long day. So that's why I'm a little bit late today. So apologies for that. Try my best to be on time for the streams. If there's any issues with the stream as well, please let me know, because at the moment YouTube's telling me I've got a poor stream. So if you guys can hear me, let me know as well. Let me know if you're tuned in. Let me know where you're from as well, as usual, so I can shout out everybody that's come on tonight. But I'm really, I really like to know if the stream is all right. If there's any issues, please let me know, because as I said, YouTube's telling me my status of my signal is quite poor. So I've got really bad internet around this area. So it really is hit and miss. It was excellent a minute ago, and then now it's saying poor. So we shall see. We shall see what happens. I'm just gonna wait for a couple of you to come in, and also, as I said, let us know where you are. Also, if you're in here as well, please hit the like button as well, so that more people can get to see the streams as well. So if you don't mind, just like the video. And if you're not a subscriber, also, why not you consider subscribing to the channel, so that you can keep updated when we do go live, and with the videos that come on. With today's video, again, I got out of work late, so I got to edit it, but it's actually uploaded now. So it's sort of like, it says 3 hours at the moment, so we shall see how long it takes to upload. Hopefully it'll be uploaded by the end of this session. So I do these Q&As every Tuesday now. I think this is our 6th session, and so every Tuesday between 8 and 9 usually goes over, because there's so many questions, and I try my best to get through as many as possible. So we do it every Tuesday. Next week Tuesday, I will be bringing in a special guest, friend of mine, fellow Dominican as well. She is an architect, and she has a lot of experience in planning particularly, and she is going to be so I'm going to bring her live onto the stream, and she will be helping to answer questions particularly around planning, how to go about finding architects, permitted development laws and so on, that will apply to extensions, garden houses and so on. So she's coming in to help to share some knowledge on that as well. So please tune in for that next week and show her some love and support on that. I am going to as I said, let me know where you're from. I'm going to do some shout outs first, and then we'll jump into the questions. Hopefully we can get to answer all the questions that happens tonight. Usually I don't, because there's usually so many questions, but I try my best. Okay. So no tea for me today. As I said, it was a long day, so I'm winding down. The drink of choice tonight is Ray and Nephew, for those of you who know what that is, and Coke. It's a Jamaican white rum, so I'm having some of that tonight, just to wind down. And so that's the drink of choice today. No tea for me today. If you're having anything, let me know what you're having. All right, so guys, so what have we got here tonight on the stream? We got Ollie. Shout out to Ollie. Welcome, Ollie. Ollie Cook. We've got Michael as well. Michael Craig. Welcome, Michael, to the stream. Jazz Singh as well. Thank you for coming on. Welcome. We've got Vishal Patel as well. Welcome to you as well. We got Saeed Ahmed as well. Welcome to the stream. Who else? We got Amit as well. Hi Amit, welcome, thanks for joining in. We have got Andy Boner as well. Welcome, Andy from Glasgow. So yeah, let me know where you guys are from. I always want to see who's the furthest person away from me, because everybody seems to be far away. I'm in London, as I said before. Usually, most people are outside of London. Funny enough, we've got Jazz. Jazz is Wolverhampton. Jazz is Wolverhampton. Shout out Jazz. Lee as well. Lee Cornwall. Probably not from Cornwall, but we got Lee Cornwall as well, and we got Summer Nights. So that's those of you who put your names down. Obviously, as you join the stream, just put your details in. Let me know that you're here, and obviously, if you've got any questions as well, I'll answer those for you. A lot of people have been asking me last week and in the comments as well about my course. So my course is now, I think, 2 weeks in, my electrical course. So I'm doing a course to qualify as an electrician. So I am on my 3rd week of that course now, the theory part of it anyway. So it's basically 12 hours every weekend of theory lessons. So I have 6 hours on a Saturday, I have 6 hours on a Sunday. That's 2 3-hour sessions, and yeah. So far it's been going good. It's a lot of stuff. Going back to school essentially is always a little bit, you know what I mean, and you haven't done it for so long. But yeah, as I come in home today, I just got a package from Amazon, and I got all my books as well. So I'll show you guys what I got. So these are the type of books that I've got to be studying and learning from. So I've got the Electrician's Guide to the Building Regulations. So more of this jargon for me as well. I'm just literally going through them now. I've got the on-site guide, electrical on-site guide. So this is pretty much the electrician's pocketbook essentially for while you're on site. So I've got that. I also got guiding notes, free inspection and testing. I had to get this book as well. So all these books here that I have to study and I have to do my lessons with. And then obviously we have the big old fat brown book, requirements for it, in electrical installations. So this is, again, what edition is this now? I'm not even sure what edition this is. But I remember when I was an electrical engineering apprentice, we had to have this book. I'm sure this is 18th edition. So this is the mother of all books, this one here. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Lots of lessons, and I've got to do lots of reading. I don't know when I'm gonna have time to do it, but yeah, basically weekends and evenings is what I got to do now to make sure I pass this thing. All right, so there's a couple more of you guys joining. I'm just going to quickly shout out the names, then we're going to jump into the questions. So we've got Gigi as well. Evening, finally caught you live. Amazing. Welcome and thank you for joining in if it's your first time. Michael is from Leeds as well. Shout out to the Leeds crew. We got NA from Portugal. So Portugal so far is the furthest that we got. And then we got GG as well. The question. All right, I'm going to come to your questions, don't worry. I've got to start from the top. All right. Just keep them coming, and I will answer them as we go in. So we got first question from Ollie Cook. Ollie says, hi, I want a workshop, but hate the heat of summer. Is it even worth contemplating prefab or cabin type, or should I just be looking at cavity wall brick? Hate the heat of summer. Hate the heat of summer. Hate the cold of winter. Then you really need to make sure you're well insulated, is what I would say. This is what a lot of people forget, that insulation as well is not just about, warming up rooms, but it's also to cool as well in some sense. So the I would probably just suggest to everybody, if they can, to go cavity wall and to just build them the way that we build them, to be honest. Nothing against the sort of cabin types. Some people that they like that sort of style. It's not for me. I prefer the sort of, solid brick built houses, cavity walls and everything. I just prefer that. I just think if you can do it, it's a more, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember now. But it's just a better build to go for personally. So if you can do that, I would go for that. Definitely insulate as well as you can. Insulate the ceilings particularly as well. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that. Okay, so what you got now? Michael says, hi Darren, did someone hack your channel yesterday, or was it just an error? 36 June. Yeah, that was an error. That was me trying some new software. Because of, as I said, I've got a guest next week. I was trying to install some software where I would be able to, interview somebody from via live streaming. So I was testing it out, and for some reason it went live and I didn't know. And so yeah, I don't think I had my mics on or my cameras on or anything like that. And I just kind of realized that it was on live, and yeah, I don't know how the date was, the 36th of June. So I'm sorry about that. I had no idea how that happened, but that was me yesterday. Jazz is asking, hi Darren, how are you and the crew? Well, the crew is well. Yeah. One of the guys were off sick today. Actually, Ken is off sick today. We had a new guy in today, young guy was in today, his first day. So he's trialing with us. So yeah, we're doing good. So it was 3 of us. It was me, Tristan, and Mitchell today. So you ask, you should bring them on too. How would you recommend getting powered to a garage which is about 10 meters from the house? Well, I mean, the typical way is run an armored. You will need to run some sort of armored if it is sort of, well, it's the easiest way to do it, to be honest. Run an armored cable from the house. There are different ways. Depends on how much power you need in the garage. There is, the possibility of running off a socket as well as running, straight from the consumer unit, which is ideal. Gives you a lot more scope and stuff. If you can get easy access to, say, of your consumer unit, maybe through, I don't know if you're semi or if you're a terraced house, it might be a little bit more difficult. But you want to try and get to the fuse board, and obviously get an electrician to do it. Run an armored for you. You can run armored under the ground. You can clip them along walls and fences and stuff. So you got a lot of options with the armored. So that's pretty much what I do. 10 meters is nothing. That's quite easy to do with an armored cable. Yes, but it just depends on, you need to know how much power you're going to be using and what you're going to be using the space for, and then you'll size the cable accordingly to what you plan to use. So next question is Vishal. Vishal says, hi Darren, loving the builds at the moment, thank you. Quick question on Karen. Do you need to do an underlayer first with mesh, scratch coat, or can you just go for the top layer? So with the Karen, you can do it both ways, but I tend to decide which way to do it based on what the substrate is. So if you're going on sort of like, when you see we do the garden houses and we're going on sort of brand new blocks, yeah, when you're going on brand new blocks, clean, solid foundation, essentially, if you want to use that term, where you've not got sort of old plaster, painted walls, stuff like that. You've got a nice, good sound base. You can go on with the top coat straight on. You can put the mesh in it, and you go straight on top of that with the top coat again. You don't have to do an undercoat. You do, or a base coat. You would use the base coat if you're going on sort of like existing render, or if the walls are not sort of if you're not confident with them, you might need to prime them first. You might not need to, but you would use a base coat. If you've got walls, for instance, that are as I said, old render, then I would go with a base coat and let it dry, and then come over the top coat. But if you've got like sort of new walls and stuff, you can go straight over it with it. It's fine. Or you've got really good walls, you can go straight over with the K-rend. No need to do the base coat. Okay, next question is from Syed. Syed says, 2-story side extension. Have now realized the measurements of the land and existing home is slightly off. Planners want me to have 1 meter away from front building line. Think they'll cry if it's 600 mil. From the, where you said from the front building line, I'm assuming you've got a side extension, maybe a side or side return. So I guess what you're saying is they want you to build it or step it in 1 meter. It's very common. Usually, in most cases, you can't get it straight in line. You do have to step back. I couldn't tell you exactly what that is, but definitely I'm sure you can find that out next week when I have my guest who's an architect on the show. She'll be able to answer questions about that. I think that's just what you're saying, but I think that is pretty much quite common to do. Okay, so Andy says stream is okay, video's a bit dodgy. Okay, sorry about that. Hopefully it will improve. Okay, it says it's excellent now, so we'll see. Lee Cornrose asks, how long do you think fence posts last postcreted in soil? How long they last? I don't know. It can last for a while. But if I'm assuming you're talking about wooden fence posts. If you put in wooden fence posts, it's a good idea to wrap them in DPM. I wouldn't just put a wooden fence post straight into concrete, personally, because obviously the concrete is in the ground. The concrete is going to suck moisture. The moisture is going to wick into the timber, and then eventually it will, get weak, and it can break off at the point where the post is coming out of the concrete. So if you're going to put fence posts directly into postcrete or post concrete, wrap it in a DPM. Just get some DPM, and then just wrap it around the bottom of it, and then concrete around that. So that will definitely prolong the life of the fence by a lot. Yeah, so that's, if you're gonna do that, that's what I'd recommend that you should do. Let's see. So we've seen hello from Summer Nights. We've got GG as well. Michael Craig, NA. So we've got all up to here. GG asks, should get the where's Mr. A questions out of the way too. I know the question comes out every week because people have been watching for a long time. They might have not watched for a little while, and then you pop back up and then you see other people and you're like, oh, where's this person, or where's this person, or where's this person, or where's Mr. A? So I expect it's going to happen a lot because obviously he worked with us for quite a while. We did quite a lot of videos. So as I said before, he's doing his own projects. I actually saw him this weekend. Actually, was it Saturday? I think I saw him on Saturday at party. So yeah, saw him on Saturday. We had a chat and everything. Yeah, he's doing well. Yeah, he's just out there doing his own thing, working, doing the same thing that he does basically. So yeah, I saw him. I met him and his wife. So yeah, he was doing well. So we got Andy as well. Andy's asking, I found your channel a few weeks ago randomly with the repairing the cowboy job in that house. Your videos become addictive. Were folks still living in that house? Any update now the digger is out? Yeah, thank you, Andy, for watching our videos and joining. I think a lot of people recently have come into the channel via that video as well. So a lot of interest around it. So we'll be back on that, on the garden house aspect of it. There's a little bit of a hold on the extension itself because I literally spoke to the architect last week. He called me and there's some changes that are being done. So I'm waiting for him to send those drawings over to me. And then we can sort of move forward. We actually are sidestepping a little bit and doing some other work on the house that now needs to be done first. So we're waiting for him to draw up. There's some changes moving around the house and stuff internally. So yeah, once we get the drawings from him, then we can jump back on that and do that first, and then we now jump into the extension. So but the garden house, I think next week. Now I was trying for this week, but there's no rush on it because we can't really do a lot. So I think next week we're going to pump the concrete for the garden house. We had a last little bit of roots to do. You might have seen in the last video. MJ actually went down there last week or this week, I think, or last week, Friday, I think. And he dug out that last few bits of roots. So it's ready for pouring now. So we'll probably pour the concrete for that next week, because this week is just too busy and it's not a priority at the moment while we're waiting for this stuff. So that is pretty much where that is at the moment. Let's see, we got next Syed. Asks, insulation seems to be a lie. My loft is insulated and it's an oven in the summer despite window with, or your loft is insulated and it's an oven in the summer despite window with trickle vents. It's only warm in winter, which is a benefit. Yeah, I hear what you're saying about that. Sorry guys, this hay fever is doing me in. Lofts, particularly lofts can get really hot, man. It can get really, really hot. I mean, there's so much this thing around insulation. Obviously we've got this whole Insulate Britain and everything. It's just a lot of insulation going into stuff. The regs has just changed, insulation's gone up again. And I find that lofts can be really, really, really hot in the summer, particularly now that they're at the top of the house and heat rises, so you get most of the heat ends up in the loft. So it will, as you go up in a building, the room gets warmer, and I think when you get to the third floor or the second floor, essentially, it just can get unbearable. Do you know what I mean? Lofts that I've been in just get extra hot. So I definitely hear what you're saying. It should be keeping the heat out in a way. Or I guess you look at it this way. When you heat a room, the insulation is supposed to, sort of keep the heat into the room. But obviously with summer, if it's heated up, then the issue is that it's the insulation is going to do its job and keep the heat in the room. Do you know what I mean? The place where I see it would really work the right way around is if you have air conditioning. If you've got air conditioning, you can cool the room down and you can maintain it for longer. And that's the thing. So obviously in the UK, most people don't have AC. If it's in the Caribbean, when I'm in the Caribbean, everywhere's got AC because, it's so hot. But the problem is that AC is not a thing. And it makes sense because, how many really hot days do we get in the year? I think we just have to bear it when we get the week-long heat that we get. We just have to bear with it because it's not going to last, basically. So yeah, I think it does work if it's used in combination the way it's meant to be used. You have AC to cool the room down and it will sort of maintain to keep the place cool. But if you haven't got sort of a cooling system, then yeah, you might suffer in the hot summer times as well. So I totally get that. All right, so we got some more questions coming in here. We got Mikey as well. Hello, Mikey from Borehamwood. With the fire damaged house. Yeah, that sounds familiar. I think I remember you mentioning about this. We'll message you to see if you can reinstate for me. Hopefully not too far for you. God bless. You guys should see my email address. Hopefully, I remember last week a lot of people couldn't see the email address because I was wearing a white t-shirt and I was just blocking off the writing. But my email address is here, so please message me. I know I keep saying that I've been slow with replies, but I do have an administrator who actually started doing a couple of hours a week to help me from last week. So we've actually been able to start getting back to a lot of the emails. I think I had about 60 emails just to clear. And I think we've sort of been getting to the end of that now, and now being able to manage responses and stuff. Because I get the emails coming in every day. We've also got social media pages, messages that are coming in. So, and then obviously I get WhatsApp messages and I get phone calls. So it was starting to get really, really, really hard to get back to people. I'm at home, I finish work and I get home and then I've got to get onto emails and stuff. So it's just getting a bit much. So hopefully we'll be getting back to people a lot quicker now. So far so good. It's been working. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah, definitely send me an email on that. So Kyle says, hi Kyle, you remember not to wear a white, there you go, that's exactly what I was saying. A red t-shirt, white t-shirt today. Have you ever done a red cedar cladded garden room? No, I haven't. I like the look of them. I haven't done one. Funny enough, I'm actually doing a quote right now for a cladded garden house, timber cladded garden house actually. So it's a brick built but cladded in timber. I think it's gonna be sort of, I think they want sort of black, that sort of black charcoal burnt wood sort of thing. I think is what they want because it's gonna go with the house. But it's not red cedar. But I haven't done something like that. But yeah, I do like the look of those, definitely. I think is I like the actual cladded garden houses. I just personally, if I was building one for myself, I would probably build it in block and then clad it. That's how I would probably do it. Yeah, but I do really like the look of them as well. You also said, have you got a video coming out tonight? Did you film yesterday? Yeah, I got a video coming up tonight, which is uploading. It's almost uploaded. So that will be on straight after this stream. Yesterday, I was off. Yesterday, I had the day off. The guys were in. They were at the timber frame extension and they actually dug out the patio area. So there wasn't a lot that we could do because we were waiting for the steels to come, which actually came today. So that's today's video. So watch today's video and you'll see the steels arriving today. We started on the steels. But they went in yesterday and they dug the patio area out. Because obviously the house used to have a patio. And when we built the extension, we've now moved the patio forward back in front of the extension. So it's going to be 3 meters deep. So they dug out a couple of inches down so we could get the hardcore and stuff to reinstate the patio. So I was off yesterday. Some of you saw my short where I took my daughter out. So I had her yesterday for the day, just me and her daddy daughter day we call it. So I had a day off on Monday and I was back to work today. So there's there's no video for yesterday, but there's a video for tonight. Okay, let's see. So let's see. Leo's evening, Darren. Hope you are well. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, it's been a long day. I'm just winding in. I got in quite late, so the stream started about 8:15. So we probably go on a little bit after 9. So I'm good. I'm unwinding now. As I said earlier, today I'm having my drink of the day. For any of you from the Caribbean, you probably know what Ray and Nephew is. So Ray and Nephew and Coke for me tonight. And yeah, I'm just chilling for tonight. After this, I'm going to watch the video myself. And just relax today. Because today was a tough day. Steel days are always tough days. These are big steels. It was only 3 of us today. One of the guys was sick. So, you know, we had to sort of shift them around. And we did a lot of demolition as well. A lot of messy stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that tonight. So let's see. Next question. Ethan said, Ethan, did you manage to get another grabbing for the cowboy build? No, not yet. Just because I've been so busy, I haven't been able to go back to that. So because we've got some delays on that anyway, so we're waiting for some drawings to come through from the architect. They're re-changing up a couple of things, so that's why that hasn't been done, but that will be done soon, very, very soon. We got Laddie Joseph. Hi, Laddie. Evening, Darren. Excellent content being shared. Thank you. How challenging is it to get a toilet in a garden house which is about 90 foot from the main sewage? Wow, 90 foot is quite good length. How challenging? It depends. The main factor, I think, will be where the main sewer access is. Some people have main sewer access in the back garden, which makes it a lot easier if you've got a garden house at the back, obviously. Some people, theirs is in the front of the house, which makes it a lot more difficult. For instance, the garden house that we did that was metal cladded, the sewage of that was down the front, I think. Well, I didn't actually connect the sewage, but it's definitely not in the back garden, because when we came to that job, the main house was being refurbished by other builders, and they had already run I think 63 mil waste pipe under the house into the sewer system, so we just had the other end of it basically. So that had to be connected to a pump. So in a lot of the cases, if you've got a long garden like that and you've got a garden house right at the back like that, you probably will need to have a ground pump or some sort. I would suggest a ground pump over sort of like a sunny flow. So you need some sort of pump to pump it. And that way you also wouldn't need to worry about the gradients as well and getting the flow for such a long distance, which is going to be very, very difficult, nigh impossible to get it. So more than likely you need to use some sort of vortex or vacuum pump or something like that. But it's fairly easy to do if you've got access to the manhole. So yeah. So let's see where we next. We've got we got a super chat or a gift from Didi. Didi, thank you very much. Appreciate that. You've sponsored the show. Really appreciate that. Everything helps. We do have the option on the live streams for people to sponsor this particular live stream. So all you got to do, if you want to sponsor, just do a super chat or thanks, and that will go to us. Usually I buy the guys lunch in the week as well, so thank you very much for that. Let's see. Next question is MKS MK Spillane. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Did you get your money sorted from the grab lorry? No, I'm in the process of it. Funny, I've got an email. I did mention last week about someone who's contacted me who works in environmental control, who saw the video, and she's been really, really helpful with information. I just got an email from her today, actually, with some guidance. So yeah, it's not over as far as that. Definitely pursuing it. Definitely about the money as well. But yeah, so I haven't got my money back yet. Limey Frog, that's a cool name. Says, is it harder to hire guys in the winter? Does work drop off? Do you bugger off to Spain or something? So a lot of questions. Is it harder to hire? No, I think personally, if you're asking me, as someone building a building company, it's just hard to hire people, full stop. I just find it's hard to hire people, full stop. The thing is, with the type of work we do, obviously you guys see it, it's not easy, you know. And to be honest, a lot of guys can't hack it. A lot of guys don't last in it. It's too hard for some guys, some people, and they just can't really hack it. So I think finding people in general is difficult, not necessarily the time of the year. Yeah, does work drop off? No. As we are, it's like this all year round. It's always like this all through the year. If you see us working in the rain, the snow, yeah, we're pretty much always busy, so it doesn't really drop off for us. And I wish I buggered up to Spain. Well, I do go to Dominica sometimes, but as you see my other videos, a lot of time I go to Dominica, I end up working. It becomes a working holiday. So I go to Dominica when I can. The last time I was there was last year. I was there for 5 months, but I ended up doing sort of like 3 renovations in the 5 months. So I ended up working the same way that I work here. It just happens, you know what I mean? But yeah, unfortunately, I don't go for long holidays. I couldn't last tell you when I took a holiday. Besides going to Dominica, when I actually just took a holiday, besides a weekend, which I took one recently on my anniversary. I can't remember when last I've actually gone on holiday. So I'm really overdue a holiday, I will say that. So maybe hopefully in the near future. Rex says, hi Rex. Rex says, hi Darren. What's your best advice in terms of finding and hiring a quality builder for loft and extensions? This is a question that gets asked a lot. Sorry guys, my hay fever is doing my head in. So what's my advice? So as I always say, references is one of the key things. Word of mouth is the best way. Someone who knows of somebody personally, like, you know, they've done work for them, and they're able to give you a good review of somebody, you know, if their work was good, their ethics was good, etc. You know, good communication, all that sort of stuff. And I always say this as well, not just because I'm a YouTuber, but there's a lot of becoming a lot more popular, people coming on YouTube. And I always say, anybody that's willing to put their work on display the way a lot of YouTubers are currently doing it. I think they're definitely someone I would be inclined to have a bit more faith in, because it's not an easy thing to just put yourself out there in any sort of industry that you work in, and just put yourself bare out to the world to be critiqued and so on and so on. So I think it's a good thing for builders to do that, and I'd encourage more builders to do that. Not necessarily be all YouTubers, but putting their sort of work out there a little bit more. Obviously, we do the whole pictures thing, but I get so many stories of people finding out after that the pictures that they were sent are not from them, and it wasn't their pictures, and all this sort of stuff. And when you see someone actually doing the work, you can actually see that this person actually did the work that they said they did. So, if you can find people, and I think that's what's made us popular as far as work as well, is because people are a bit more trusting with us, because they've seen that we actually do the stuff that we do, and the fact that we're sort of open and honest with what we do, even when we make mistakes, just open and honest. People value that, I think, in someone that they can trust to take on, one of the biggest projects they'll ever do. So that's one thing as well. But references is probably the main thing, I think. There's no way of being 100% sure. You can do all of that and still have issues. So there's no way to be 100% sure, but I would definitely start going for references if you can, and at least maybe trying to see if you can see some of the work that they've previously done. Okay, so we're moving along. Let's see. So we've got Syed said, AC to keep the room cool. Isn't insulation supposed to save on your energy bills, not add to it? Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it makes sense now. Yeah, because now you've got more energy bills by putting the AC on. Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying, man. Yeah, I totally understand. It's just you can't win with it, basically. You really can't, unfortunately. So Leo is asking, is Namdi, sorry if I butchered Nambi, okay, so his name is Namdi, as in D, the letter D, Namdi. Sorry if I butchered his name here, still with the team. Yes, he is. I speak to Namdi all the time. Namdi's a really good guy, man. Namdi's quite a skilled guy, and he's a really good painter. So, he came on to work with us, but he had some other jobs sort of in the pipeline. So he ended up he basically is off doing some work, basically. So he's should be finished by the end of the month. So hopefully by the end of the month. It was supposed to be a week, then it was 2 weeks, and then the job just went on a tangent, so it just ended up being a bigger job. So he's basically doing that. Yeah, he's doing a lot of decorating work. I think he's doing a house at the moment. So that's why I wish he'd be with us every day, to be honest. He's a real good asset to the team, but he's got his own things doing as well, and I respect that. So he's basically he's about and we'll see him hopefully soon on the videos and on the jobs. So let's see, we got Mohammed. Mohammed says, hi Darren, I'm Ben. I look forward to watch your progress every day. I'm about to have some bifolds installed, but after seeing the ones with internal blinds on your garden, they look amazing. Yeah, those are really, really cool. Are expensive. I guess you're asking if they're expensive. Probably are expensive. I didn't purchase them. The customer actually, because with that garden house, they actually commissioned someone to install those for them as well, so that they could have the warranty on those blinds. So I have no idea how much they cost. I don't even know where they got them from. I just know they came, we put the steel in, they came in, measured it, made them, came in and fitted them. So but they really are cool, because the blinds are actually inside the panes of glass. So it's got to be made somehow. I have no idea, because I didn't see the glass before they put them in. I wasn't there when they fitted them. So I'm assuming that they are probably expensive, really, to be honest. But they're really cool. I really, really like them. And you haven't got to ever clean the blinds, which is the amazing thing about them. You don't have to clean the blinds. So really, really cool idea. But if they go wrong, then that's the issue. So I guess that's why they went with them, to get the warranty if they failed. you know, you probably have to replace the whole glass panel, I'd imagine, you know. So let's see. Michael James said, I drank Ray and Nephew with a couple of my mates from Jamaica. Never again. That stuff is lethal. Yeah, you got to know what you're doing with it. Don't overdo it, man. You can't overdo it. I have a little bit and loads of coke, and that's fine. Yeah, it's sort of an overproof rum. It's about 60 to 70%, so it's really, really strong in that sense. But it's very common. Well, it's a Jamaican rum, so it's common in Jamaicans. But yeah, you can't be just drinking Ray and Nephew all afternoon or something. Yeah, not a good idea. All right, so let's see. Hocklin says, have you ever built a fully sustained eco-friendly home, low or no carbon and or human waste convert to methane gas for some appliances off? I have never done that. So I'd love to build one. Sounds really cool. I mean, I like doing anything that's interesting, especially doing the YouTube now. I'm just, always hoping that we get more interesting stuff to build. No disrespect for just sort of like your typical sort of extensions and garden houses, but when you get interesting stuff, it's really cool and you learn so much from doing it. So I haven't done that, but if you got one that wants to be built, then give us a shout, and then maybe we can build it for you. So next question is J Spires. Hi Darren, I worked on the building back in 80s, 90s, 2000s. Do the blokes on your kind of firm need all the safety training paperwork that big sites need? Back in my days, we didn't have any. Yeah, so there are certain things, not when you're on residential, it's not so much. I don't do commercial work, and I probably wouldn't do commercial work because I don't really like working that commercial environment, to be honest. And also with commercial, I like our jobs that we're the only ones there, and there's just not like 50 other people working around on site. Because when I did my apprenticeship in electrical engineering, I was on sites quite a lot. Half the time of my apprenticeship, we were in porter cabins on site or out on site, and it's just these big jobs with just hundreds of people everywhere and stuff. And I never want to work in that. As far as a tradesman, I wouldn't want to work on site because you get these jokes that in the trade, sort of like, that's not my job. There's so much of that where it's just like everyone's concerned about their trade. They couldn't care about the next person's trade. Do you know what I mean? And I think it would be so frustrating being a tradesman working on a site, and nobody has any regard for the other person's work or what's going on. Do you know what I mean? So I don't do the commercial stuff. So obviously we have health and safety that we have to adhere to. Obviously, I mean, people will say things like, "Oh, you don't have your hard hat on at that moment." It's just like, I always just like, you know what? People are human beings. Sometimes you take your hard hat off for a minute because you just head's hot for a minute. You're gonna have it on 24/7. Whatever, it is what it is. But yeah, we don't have to have all this paperwork stuff like like you have to work on commercial sites and stuff. So I think that's probably what you're asking, and I would shy away from doing all this red tape. If I had to work on commercial sites, I wouldn't want to do it. So let's see where we are. Okay, Rex says you're a star. Okay, amazing. I'm glad I helped you there with Rex. AC Milan 1899 says, maybe do a painting and decorating masterclass video series featuring Namdi. Well, maybe if he's up for it. I don't know if Namdi would up for it. I think Mitchell would probably be more up for doing the videos, I think, as well. Maybe I might see if he want to do a video with me one day, because he's a bit of a character, so he might do it. I'm sure he'll have his shades on as well, so maybe I'll see if he will do a video. Do you know what I mean? If he will do one. So where are we next now? +1. Okay. Vaping Builder, what's happened to Mr. A? Fella, love the vids. Thanks a lot, man. Mr. A is out here doing his work. I met him on the weekend. I saw him at the weekend, actually. We were at a party, so we had a nice chat there. He was there. We had a good time. Yeah, he's just telling me, he's just working. He's just doing his stuff. The same stuff that you see, that he's doing. He's just out there working, pretty much. So we got Inverness. Hi, Inverness. Inverness Farm. Hi, Darren. Welcome, Inverness Farm. Let's see what we've got. Also, guys, letting you know as well, next week I have a guest on who is an architect. She's a friend of mine, and she will be answering questions and giving you guys loads of information on planning, permitted development, certificates of lawfulness, I think it is. All these different things that she deals with. She's sort of knows a lot about planning. So tune in to next week's video. She will be live streaming with me, and you'll also be able to ask her any questions, especially if you've got questions on planning, permitting development, etc., on how to choose an architect, things like that, anything to do with drawings. She will be there to answer those questions for you. Okay, so I will put something out on the community tab this week just to remind you guys, a sort of little flyer just to remind you. And yeah, so she'll be on next week, Tuesday. So please tune in for that as well. I think that's going to be a good one. So next question is from Chris. Chris asks, hi Darren, when you fit your UPVC windows and doors, are you fencer registered so you get those certificates, or do you go down another route? For example, does the building inspector cover that? Cheers. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people have not on this question. I've seen this question asked a lot out there, not necessarily on my channel, but I've seen it asked a lot. So my understanding with this whole fencer thing is, or for those of you who don't know, fencer is some sort of registered organization that a lot of window fitters, professional window fitters, are registered to, and it's similar to like an electrician might be NICEIC or whatever it is, and he's registered to this recognized organization, and then he's gone through certain training, and that now allows him to sort of be an authority to an extent of saying saying this has been installed correctly. So some like sort of jobs or insurances or sort of banks and stuff, they require sort of proof that obviously the windows and doors have been installed correctly, and usually a fencer certificate is adequate. But as you asked in the second part, you can, in most cases with extensions, the building inspector covers that area, so you don't need to have a fencer person install a window or a door for an extension. So it's covered under your building inspection and building control. So I mean, we installed our windows most of the time, and we never had any problems with it. So building control, checks it and stuff, and they never ask for that because they are essentially the passing body, if that makes sense. So yeah, a lot of people say, oh, you need a fencer person to install your windows. It's not true. If I'm wrong, somebody can put me right, but I don't think it is true that you need to have a fencer person to install your windows. Yeah, so that's I hope that helps to answer your question. Let's see. Gigi said, think there's an entire channel called Not My Job. There probably is. I've seen videos on it as well. It's very common. They're quite funny, some of them, It's just yeah, it's quite a bit of a joke in the industry. Rex says, hit the like button. Yeah, I agree with you, Rex. If you're in the stream, hit the like button. Let people know that you're watching, and when you hit the like button, it hopefully put the video out to other people as well. Let's see. Jay says, don't blame me, mate. I did both, and smaller work is so much better. Yes, I think you're talking about the commercial work and stuff. Yeah, I like this. I like a smaller jobs, and also obviously you see what we do. We do pretty much everything, and I like that. I like to manage a job from the beginning to end and be involved in it. So I don't want to sort of just come in and be the spark and do this, and then I'm off. I never see the job again. Like I wanna see the whole thing from the beginning to the end. That's what I like. So yeah, that's why I like the small jobs personally. And then you're working sort of with the amount of customers that we work with
We have such a, we have a good laugh with them. We have banter. We have all sorts of things. You know what I mean? It's a nice environment a lot of the time, or 99% of the time of our customers. It's always nice, really nice. And, people most times treat us quite well, treat us quite nice. One thing I will say though, I'll put this out there to you guys, because people are asking about builders and stuff. One thing with builders, and it's not just me, a lot of builders will tell you this, it goes a very long way to be hospitable to your builders. And it's simple things. It's simple things. It's like, it's funny, like, we've been on jobs, people that we don't know, we've met on YouTube that have come in. We were just talking about one of our customers. We used to do some work. We did a garden house. One of the garden house we did, the guy came from YouTube. His wife, I think, is like Vietnamese or something like that. And they were so good to us. She would cook for us, curries and all sorts of stuff. They really looked after us. And we always had, water. We always had drinks and stuff. And then you can go to some jobs where you could do a job for 10 weeks and not get offered a glass of water or a cup of tea or something like that, And I feel like when you, as a builder, at least for myself, when I work for people like that, I go 10 extra miles for them. They'll ask you for something. They don't have to ask for it. And it's just like, you just do it, sort of thing. Or sometimes you just do things over even without them asking, because you feel like this person's really treating you well, and you just sort of appreciate it, And I find that a lot. Like some jobs can be really sort of like day and night. You get some people that are really, really nice, and then you get some people that are just like, there's just no hospitality, And from where I'm coming from, we always like that. If anybody is doing anything here, we look after them. So I think that when you have a builder, is really to go there, to go that little extra mile with a builder, make sure that they're good, especially if you're working in these temperatures right now. You might be working outside, you might be doing your garden, just giving them a drink or whatever, stuff like that, offering and stuff. I think that a lot of builders appreciate that, and then you tend to find that they really go the extra mile for you, when you go that way for them. So just something I'm putting out there that it might help you with your relationship with your builders, and to get the best out of your builders. Just sort of going a little bit over, as they say, tea and biscuits, bacon sarnies, whatever. Sometimes it doesn't cost much, So yeah, definitely something I would advise you to do if you're having any builders doing any work. Right, let's see, where are we now? Vaping Builder says, yep, help the channel help Darren by hitting the likes. Yeah, reinforce that again. Yeah, hit the likes, guys, because there's a lot more people watching than there are likes. So obviously a lot of guys are not hearing it. Obviously, if you don't like it, then don't hit the like button. All right, Summer Nights ask, is it possible for you to get the contact details of the various suppliers you come across, like the bifold doors with the blinds, for your future customers? Yeah, okay, I try. Sometimes I try to show the products while I'm working for guys, to know like where I get, what the flooring brand is, or what a particular thing is. I'll try and find that one out when I go there next. We're going there this week, so I will ask, and I will try and share that. I try and remember to ask her and share that on the video for anybody who's wants to know. That Kryptonite is joined the chat. What's up? Everyone's good, man. I'm doing well. I hope you're well. Chris says, thanks, mate. Great channel, by the way. Thanks a lot, man. Inverness Farm says, can you lay damp-proof membrane on the ground twice, below and above the insulation board, before pouring the concrete? The answer is yes. So now, before, a lot of the time, and you've seen it in our videos, typically you would install, say for an oversight concrete slab for a extension or something, you will install one damp-proof membrane. I think now the changing of the regs is actually now, I think it's now going to be pretty much standard now. A lot of people's doing it. Sometimes it's spec, sometimes it's not, but I think it's pretty much now standard to install twice. So what you can do is, or how I would do it in most cases if you're going to insulate the ground, is I would put it under the concrete, then put the insulation, and then put it on top of the insulation, the damp proof membrane, and then screw it on top of that. So the insulation would essentially be sandwiched between the two DPNs. It's more to do with the wet concrete rather than the dry concrete. So if you've concreted the floor, you can put, and it's dry, just put the insulation on that, put the DPM, and then the next wet mix will go on top of the plastic. So that's pretty much, I think, a general rule. Okay, so next question is Scott. So what we now, we 10 past, and we started about 1/4 today, so we're going to take it to 9:30 today. So yeah, for the late start. Scott is asking, would you get bonded bead, hang on a second, would you get bonded bead cavity wall insulation? I'll be honest, Scott, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Would you get bonded bead cavity wall insulation? I'm not sure exactly what that is, sorry. Someone might have to explain what that is. So sorry, I'm not really sure. Leo Bartlett is asking, it's nice to be nice. Yeah, 100%. People respond to energies, If you're nice to people, 99% of the time they can be nice back to you, So yeah, definitely. Cal asks, could you do some more traveling vids in Dominica on other channel when you go back, please? Was watching some of them on your other channel. Yeah, I mean, yeah, when I'm out there, I do them. So yeah, when I'm out there, I'll definitely do some more. I do some more. There's so much places to go out there. There's so much places. I mean, even it's crazy, I mean, it's the same thing for anywhere. You live in London, and then 99% of us have never visited half of the sites in London. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't even know they exist. And it's like that when you're out there growing up, and a lot of people don't go to a lot of the different things that's in there. I mean, I've been doing it more now, mainly my wife and my daughter, just we're on holiday. But I'm finding that stuff I didn't even know we had. I didn't even know existed. And some of the stuff we're like the only place in the world. And I didn't even know this, I went to cold. I know we've got hot sulfur springs and stuff like that. I went to cold sulfur springs. I didn't even know we had cold sulfur springs, just bubbling out of the ground, but it's freezing cold, like volcanic, So I didn't even know this stuff. And so I've definitely been trying to get around the island more and see sort of sites and different things. So yeah, when I go next, I'm not sure exactly when I'm back, because the planning thing's just a bit doing my head in a little bit. But I will, yeah, when I'm there, I'll definitely do more videos on my other channel, my vlogging channel. Definitely will do that then. Okay, so let's see. Mr. YouTuber 001, great channel, great team. Thank you, Darren. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Jay Spear says, it's all about mutual respect, Darren. Otherwise, you find yourself working in an atmosphere which is horrible. Yeah, 100%. Nobody wants to work in about it. And it just affects how you work and your performance. You're happy, good vibe. Everybody's working. And that's why even with us at work, I try to keep a nice environment at work. Everyone's sort of just laid back. Everyone can sort of relax and stuff. And, no one's feeling like there's no boss on anyone's back. There's nobody watching the time on anybody, you know what I mean? It's just like, even today we had a new guy today, and he was just like, let's go for lunch, and he was sort of like, well, what time do we finish lunch? And that, I'm just like, we don't really watch clock. It's just like, whatever, if you want to go off and have some lunch and go down the road or whatever, if you want to go off to the cafe, if you want to, it doesn't matter. I don't really watch it like that. It's just like, that's the environment that we have, you know what I mean? Everyone's kind of laid back, so everybody just gives their best, and I think it's the best way it works for us anyway. So let's see. Ben says, I go the extra mile for all my customers. I only care about getting my full payment. Keep the tea and coffee, thanks. I only drink Starbucks. You're a bit flashy, aren't you, innit? Starbucks, I didn't know builders drank Starbucks. I thought it was just PG tips and that, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Definitely, yeah. I mean, you go the extra mile. I mean, not everybody does. But I mean, I always do anyway. I always do. I always find myself doing it, whether or not, we looked after or not. But I just think that it's nice. It's a nice thing to just do for someone who's sort of working for you, essentially. Do you know what I mean? To sort of look after him. Darren, hi Darren. Darren Anderson's asks, sorry if it has already been asked. Love the channel. Any more content coming soon from the Cowboy Builder Aftermath? Yes. Yeah. So I meant, yes, I did. We did talk about this already. So there's some changes by the architect. There's some changes to the house. I can't go through all of it now. I spoke to the architect, I think, on the weekend. So I'm waiting for him to send me those drawings, because there's some work now we've jumping us slightly into. We're sort of slightly switching the phases in the order. So we're actually jumping off to do something that needs to be done first now. And once that's done, then we're back onto the extension itself. The garden house is ready for concrete, so we'll be probably pouring the concrete next week. So we can, because I spoke to him on the weekend, we can continue with the garden house. So we are going to move along with the garden house, start on the concrete next week. But the extension itself, we need to get this bit done first, and then we can get building control in and start moving on the foundation. Moving from the foundation on the extension. So yeah, it's a little bit delayed, but we'll be back on it very, very soon. Once we get these drawings sorted out, we'll be back on it. Let's see. Leo's asked, I love your channel because you see the jobs from start to finish. A lot of our channels, you only see part of the process because that's all they're contracted to do. Yeah, I fully get that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're a brickie, if you're an electrician, or maybe a plasterer, obviously you can only show while you're there, unless the customer lets you come back and maybe do a video to show what the finish looks like. So I totally get that. It's really good to sort of see what the finished product is, and I love it. I love it when we sort of like finish day and it's just like, look, we can step back and say, look, this is what it looks like, and this is what it looked like before we started. So I think we got the benefit of that because we do so many different trades and stuff, that we get to see you literally down to cleaning the windows and handing over the keys. Let's see, next one. So we got about 15 minutes. So we got Edith Western. Shoot, missed the timing again, man alive. Hola from rainy Espana. Is it raining? It's sunny out here. Today it's sunny. We had a little storm yesterday that lasted for like maybe 15 minutes, but it went mental. I don't know if you guys had that, but yeah, we had this little storm pass yesterday afternoon. I think probably about 3 or 4 o'clock in London. It just came down really, really hard. But today and the rest of the week is supposed to be really sunny. It's really hot today. So the sun is coming down to our sides. Didi says the next step is being sponsored by the brands you use. Yeah, why not? I mean, I haven't reached out to anybody. I'm not particularly fast to do that, but if they want to reach out to me, then I'll be open to it. Maybe I'll reach out to some at some point, but at the moment I'm just enjoying what we're doing, not getting tied down to anything. But yeah, definitely it'd be cool. I mean, there's tools we need still. I mean, to be honest, I got most of the tools we need now, and I don't have a problem buying my tools. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they want to just make sure that everybody's got tools. Come and sponsor all the guys and give everybody a set of tools. Maybe then I'll be more inclined. But definitely, I mean, sponsorship is a thing now, isn't it? There's a lot of, I guess, people getting to see your stuff through YouTubers and stuff like that. So there's good opportunities for sponsors, and people are seeing tools tried and tested. We're reviewing tools, and you're getting to see the stuff by people who are actually using it. Do you know what I'm saying? Can give you honest opinions about them. So yeah, maybe we shall see that in the future. Okay, so let's see if we can get through to the last 10 minutes. We got Carter's what's happening back in Dominica? Re your cleared land. How long does your planning permission last? Cheers. I have no idea how long it lasts, but I haven't got it yet. That's the main thing. So basically, my architect has been a little bit of a waste of time. He was really slow, to be honest. Really slow. We finally got to the final stage of planning, and then the drawings got rejected because of some issues. I think it was some steel work issues that needed to be rectified, and some detail about the roof. So he's supposed to be doing it. To be honest, I've been so busy and preoccupied that I haven't really chased him up, and he's sort of the person that I have to be chasing him up to get stuff done, and I haven't actually chased him up in the last couple of weeks. So I really need to do that. Saying that now, I might actually give him a text after this stream, because also the other thing is they're sort of 5 hours behind. So I always, whenever I do remember, it's always not the time that I can really be calling him or anything. So the time difference. So yeah, it's probably about what? It's probably going to be about 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon now. So I just need to chase him up and find out whether or not he's resubmitted things. But I did get a bit irritated about the whole thing. So I kind of put it in the back of my mind at some point, because I was trying to go the end of the beginning of the year, I think, and then that deadline got missed, so it just sort of threw me off a bit, you know. It disappointed me a lot, because I really wanted to start building it this year. So I mean, it's not impossible that I start this year, but I don't know. We'll see. I need the planning. I mean, once I've got my planning, I can go anytime. So we shall see what happens there. Okay, so let's see, where are we now? Mr. Patrick Sons. Hi, Darren. Looking forward to the architect next week. Okay, great. Thanks for getting back to my email. I appreciate that. Oh, nice one. Glad. Yeah, I'm really trying to get through to the backlog of emails. As I said earlier, I've got someone doing admin for me now in the week. So a couple of hours a week. So that way we at least can get messages responded to, Instagram messages responded to, emails, replies and stuff like that, because it's just been too much for me to handle outside my working hours, because during the day I just can't do it, because obviously I'm working, I'm filming, I'm doing all this stuff, and then when I get home I'm just sort of out of it. So hopefully the emails will be responded to a lot quicker now. Okay, so we got African Empress 01. It says, good team, good work. I have been watching for some months now. Where are you based? Do you do private contracts outside of London? Thank you very much. Really appreciate the love and support. We're based in London. We don't work outside of London currently. It would just be too difficult, because I'm managing multiple jobs, and just being out of London a day is going to be a problem for me, you know. So yeah, and then the work and the traveling. It's just so much. Traveling through London is bad enough, you know. Then traveling through London and then getting outside of London is absolutely a nightmare, you know. So we don't currently do any jobs outside of London. Okay, let's see. We got Zulu Delta. Evening, late check-in. Greetings from Nairobi. Hey, Zulu Delta from Nairobi, a regular. Thank you for tuning in. I think that might be the furthest we are now, all the way in Kenya. We got Vishal Patel says, hi Darren, why on camera do you have a South London accent, but when you're chatting to the boys out comes the Jamaican? Are you aware of the change, or is it just natural? You know, I'm aware of it when I watch the video. It's not Jamaican though, it's Dominican. The accent's Dominican. I'm aware of it. It's something I really can't control. I say it like this, it's funny, like once I'm around like Dominicans, especially, you know, Dominicans that have the accent, I automatically, because I was there as a child, so it's sort of like I automatically resort to it. I always say that when I go to Dominica, when I land, I'm Dominican, and then when I land back in the UK, I'm British again. It's like it just comes out around the people that you're talking to. you just automatically talk the same way like you talk to, you know what I mean, your mates or whatever. So I think that's what it is. But I am aware of it, but I really notice it when I'm editing, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this just sounds mad. You know what I mean? I'm like changing back and forth, but yeah, I can't really help it. So people are just gonna have to get used to it. It's just something that happens all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Leo's asking and noticed that too. Yeah, I think a few people have noticed that more because I've been, sort of filming a lot more talking now because I've got a microphone and stuff. Beanie Bros says, "What's your favorite footy team?" Oh, you know what? I don't want to upset anybody anyway. No, I'm only joking. I don't actually have a footy team. I don't, and it's a fun and there's a reason for it. When I was a kid, I would say up to the age of 8, because I went to Dominica when I was 8 years old. So up to the age of 8, I was this Liverpool fan. That was the 80s. That was the days of Ian Rush, John Barnes, all these sort of people. That I was a Liverpool fan. And, I had all the sticker books and all that stuff. I was really into football those times. But then I was 8. Being at 8 years old, I moved to Caribbean, and there's no football on TV. There's no football at all. It was just basketball because it's all American TV. So that was the era of Michael Jordan. So obviously you become this huge Chicago Bulls supporter of Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and all that stuff. So it just became basketball. We didn't play football. We played basketball and cricket. That was it. We didn't really play football. Now we play football in the Caribbean, and everybody in the Caribbean's got Man United t-shirts, Chelsea t-shirts, all this sort of Arsenal, whatever. But back then, there was no football at all on TV. So by the time I had gone through school, graduated high school, come back to the UK at age 16, I didn't recognize anybody in football. I was totally out of football, and I'd lost the love for football, and I was onto basketball. And then the weird thing is that when I came back to the UK, I went off basketball because there was no basketball on TV. So I couldn't tell you who plays for what team anymore. I totally lost track of it. And obviously Michael Jordan by then was sort of out of it. So, yeah, it was just a weird one. So I just never followed. I just never got back into it. So I just say that I don't really follow anybody, really, to be honest. I can't, no point saying I support Liverpool. I don't even know one guy's name who plays for the team. You know what I mean? So that's just being honest. So unfortunately, I don't support any football team, and that's just not my fault, unfortunately. Right, let's see. Let's see. Okay, right, pretty normal. Keep the Milwaukee dream alive. Yeah, I'm happy the Milwaukee's at the moment. I've got to say that. Let's see. Phil says, "Greeting, Darren. Keep up the good work and great channel. Don't you ever take a holiday? You always seem to be working." Yeah, I don't. I was just saying that I need a holiday. So if you want to sponsor me from a holiday, yeah, I'd like to go somewhere really posh and expensive. So sponsor the channel, and I shall be going on holiday. What? No, I do need to go on holiday. I haven't been on holiday like a holiday for a long time. So I don't know. Maybe I'll get to go on holiday. I was saying obviously I go to Dominica. Dominica's not a holiday because it's just it's like I'm at home and then I end up working. So I'd have to go somewhere that I don't know anything on anybody and go to a hotel and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe hopefully I'll go to a holiday soon. Right, let's see. So we're coming up to 9:30. Just gonna quickly again remind you guys, next week I have a special guest, so please show up for her. She's an architect and she's coming in to give you guys all the answers you need on planning, permitted development, all that sort of stuff. Architects, working with architects, getting your drawings done, all that stuff. So tune into that. And she's actually Dominican as well, and she's an architect here in the UK, and she will be helping you guys with all your architectural and planning questions. Okay, so last few, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So we got Horza45 says, "Hey Darren, good to see you, top man. Thanks, man. I really appreciate the love." Okay, so you say, "I floored my attic last year and put up studs for walls to Apex. I then closed the hatch and haven't touched it since. You need to go and see what's up there, man. Go up there. You might have somebody moved in. So yeah, you better check that out. So Cam is asking, Darren, bro, you got a contact number? Yes, I do. I don't want to really put my number out there because my number is also my personal number. I know it's bad. I don't have a business number, but if you contact me via my email address, which is on the screen, and then I usually exchange numbers via there anyway, because as I said, I don't have a personal business number, so it's sort of my personal number, which is always ringing and always pinging at all times of the day. I mean, I have people call me at 11 o'clock. Can you imagine that about building work? Like, that's the unfortunate thing of having your personal number. So yeah, sometimes I just gotta let it ring. But if you just send me the okay. So you said I did. So I was saying earlier that I've got admin now from last week. Last week Wednesday started, so we've been catching up with the emails. So if it's a few weeks ago, I would have thought you would have been responded to, because we responded to emails up to, I think, March. So if you didn't get a response, please resend that. But you'll definitely get a response now, because she's literally doing the emails every day. So you should get a response. So please resend it if you didn't get a response in the last week, since we've been going through the emails. Okay, so we've got Lee. Oh, where are we now? Leo says, don't forget to sponsor Darren so he can finally buy a nail gun. Yeah, everybody wants me to get a nail gun. Yeah, I don't know yet if I'm being defiant about the nail gun thing. So I don't know. I haven't even got a hammer. So because the hammer that I have is not mine, it's one of the guys. I actually bought it for him, and then I lost my hammer, so I'm using one of the guys' hammer. So I need to buy myself a hammer first, but maybe I will get one. Maybe like the next job we were doing a lot of timber work, I might invest in it. We'll see, and I'll see what all the fuss is about with the nail guns. But I'm running out of space to put tools in the van and materials and stuff. It's just so much stuff, you know what I mean? So, but we'll see. So all right, cool. Horza says, oops, sorry, hang on a second, don't know what I've done here. Sorry guys, let me just figure this out. Right, I plan to insulate and maybe use tongue and groove instead of plaster. Okay. Do I need a vapor barrier? Worried about moisture building inside. So I'm assuming you're talking about the loft. So if you're gonna insulate the roof, which I'm assuming you're talking about, or you said you built a partition. If it's just an internal partition, you'll be fine without a vapor barrier. But if you're sort of doing it against the walls or the rafters, then you need to follow some guidelines on the insulation and ventilation and stuff, more importantly. So it really depends. It's hard to say without seeing it, but if you've got some pictures, send it to my email and I'll see if I can give you some advice on it. I'll see if I can what do you call it, give you some advice on that. Right. Mick says, what's your main trade, as you always do every job really well? I don't have a main trade. Everyone asks that. I am that jack of all trade guy. I don't have a main trade really, and I don't even have something that I like doing more than anything else. It's weird. I think I don't like doing anything too much. Maybe that's how I'll put it. So I like doing everything a little bit. You know what I mean? I like doing tiling for a bit and not every day, and I'll get tired of doing tiling. I like plastering, but not every day. Because I just think, how do you plasterers do this every day, plastering every day? Because it's just like my arms are killing me. I don't like to do anything all the time. You know what I mean? So I don't have a particular trade. I just like building, if that makes sense, is how I would describe it. So for me, building or being a builder just means building a house or building something. Do you know what I mean? So I just enjoy doing lots of stuff personally. Right, let's see. Right. Yeah, Cam. Yeah, so resend it. Resend it, even if you just resend the same one, and I will definitely look out for it. Okay, so we got Jas as well. Jas says, I bumped into Milwaukee employee in Selco. They like to put tools in people's hands so you can try anything. So you can try that receipt. So I will ping you his business card via email. Yeah, sure, man. Definitely. Send that to me. I'll have a look. Yeah, I do need one of those saws, actually. Yeah, I should have got one of those a long time ago. Flip Disc asks, good evening. Is MJ on an apprenticeship? No, not officially. No. He's just working really, but just sort of learning. You know what I mean? But not an official. I don't have any official apprentices at the moment. But possibly may do that in the future. Okay, so let's see. Great show tonight. So hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button if you guys enjoying this show tonight. So yeah, I think this is the last one. So Gigi's asking, would it be correct in saying to install plasterboard perpendicular to joints? To joists. To joists. Yeah, it's easier. It's easier. It's not a necessity. You can install them in line as long as you obviously center them on the joist where you overlap, but more importantly that you stagger the joints. So if you've got, if you imagine like a brick wall, sort of thing, don't just have all the joints in one line. So you got 4 sheets of plasterboard in one line and 4 sheets in one line and 4 sheets in one line. You're just asking for cracks. So if you can do perpendicular, it might be easier to install. If you can do it perpendicular, do it that way. If you can't, or if it doesn't make sense, you can run them in line, but just stagger the joints and you should be fine. Yeah. All right, guys. So that's it for tonight, I think. Yeah, we're at 9:37, so we had a long session today. Hopefully you guys have got something out of this. As I said, again, next week we're going to have someone who actually knows what they're talking about, who's going to try and help you guys with your questions. She's in the industry. She's an architect. She deals with planning and stuff like that. She'll be able to help answer your questions, and she's really nice, really down to earth. So please tune in next week Tuesday for that, and show us some love on that. And I'll see you guys later. So thanks for tuning in. Also, tonight's video is coming on. As soon as I come off, I'm gonna just post it, so you should see tonight's video. We received the steels for the timber frame extension today, and we started installing them. So check out for that video that's coming on next. All right, guys. So thanks for watching, and we see you soon. Take care.